Hi, this is J&L Lynch for BuyTheOkanagan.com. Right now I'm standing at the entranceway to the old mining town of Fairview, about 2 kilometers up into the hills from the present town of Oliver, BC. Where the log fence is behind me is pretty well the boundaries of where the town started. When the town moved down below, it was changed to Oliver after the Premier of the province of British Columbia. It was in 1887 that these dry hills lay undisturbed by man, but that year a prospector known as One-Armed Reed explored for gold, and you know what? He found it. Then a year later, 2 prospectors, guys by the name of Quatkin and Sheeham, were crown granted the stem winder claim. And from that stem winder claim came millions and millions and millions of dollars worth of gold. Now with miners comes eventually a town. Saloons such as the Bucket of Blood, the Miners' Rest, and the Golden Gate sprang up along with the hotel in 1897 called the Fairview Grand Hotel, and it was eventually nicknamed the Big Teepee because it was probably the biggest hotel in the province at that particular time. The whole town boasted as being the biggest city north of San Francisco. Almost no food was grown in the area, and tinkling bells heralded the approach of freight wagons drawn sometimes by as many as 8 spans of horses carrying cargoes for mines and community stores. Freighters such as the Casorso family, who are of Kelowna. There's a street named after them up there, and still a lot of their relatives living in the area supplied these miners the food that they needed and the equipment. Medical services were supplied by Dr. Benjamin Boys and later Dr. White, who traveled 100 miles just to make a call. There was no telephones or no telegraphs, so they used what's called the moccasin telegraph, which was either on foot or by horseback messages were carried. By 1906, Fairview's gold pretty well played out, and most of the miners departed for other prospects. And 2 years later, Fairview had become a ghost town. By 1919, the most exciting town in the West had vanished, although mining activity revived during the Great Depression, and between 1934 and 1939, 16,992 ounces of gold and 162,680 ounces of silver flowed from these hills. So there were people, once again, made a few $1 million. Well, besides the mines and the saloons and the big hotels, they also had general stores, they had a church, they had schools, actually one school, and then they built a bigger one. So it was quite a population up here, quite a thriving, bustling city like you see on the old westerns on television today. Oh, and they also had a jail, and that jail's been moved down to the town where our museum is right now. And I'll take a picture of it on my way up. Well, there you have it, folks, in the background. The old Fairview jail, just as it stood. Here I am standing at the bars at one of the windows. It'd be pretty hard to break out of there. Probably many a drunk miner at one of the 3 saloons ended up in this little caboose or jail. Well, it's not really that big, but I guess it's big enough to hold 10 or 12 people if you made them stand through the night. Anyways, it served the purpose at the time for a town that size. This is J&L Lynch from BuyTheOkanagan.com. I hope you enjoyed our little excursion up to the what's remaining, which is nothing, of the town of Fairview. Standing in front of the old jail. Bye for now.